That was exhausting. And I think it makes perfect sense that this were going to be the episode that took place after episode 2, because episode 2 was so freaking incredible. Obviously, we have to completely fall off of the cliff in episode 3 and really start getting into the nitty-gritty about what it actually means for Rhaenyra Targaryen to rule the Seven Kingdoms. It was exhausting, and that's the only way that I know how to properly describe it. Welcome back. We're going to be talking about everything House of the Dragon in this reaction review episode. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, go ahead and do that. We are inching ever so closely to 700 subscribers. Every single one of you who have done so in the last month have been awesome. I have really enjoyed doing this. And if you haven't done it yet either, click that like button or wait until the end of the video if I earn your like. Let's get right into the most obvious part of this episode, the score. This episode's score, the sound design, all of that, I think is probably the star of this episode, because from the very moment that we go back to Queen's Landing, if you will, from Daemon telling the Hightowers to bend the knee, turn around, go home, and he's taking Darren with him back to King's Landing. Spoiler alert, Darren with him to King's Landing. It goes straight into Rhaenyra is having to learn on the fly what it means to be queen and how to be queen. You are being asked favors by everyone. You're being asked solutions to problems by everyone. You're asking for answers. You're asked for answers to questions that you don't even know what the question really even is about. All while adding on top of this, she starts her freaking period. Look, I've never had one, obviously. I hear they're terrible. And that's with modern medicine and modern like birth control medications. This is just straight raw dogging the menstrual cycle. Luckily, she's got, like this tea or some sort of medicinal drink that she could take to like help with the cramps or whatever. But I'm thinking to myself, like, you are already so stressed out with every single piece of everything that you have to do as queen. And now you are on top of that, are starting your period. What could be worse? Oh, I know. The potential threat to your throne, who is the other heir of Alicent and Viserys Targaryen, is not actually the boy who is sitting in your chambers within your walls. It is some rando while he is off helping the Hightowers just do stuff on their end. Just thinking about watching that episode again is exhausting. Everything about that was exhausting. And back to the main point that I totally got lost on this tangent from. The score. There was this bell sound like a clock. It felt like there was a clock ticking. I know that there wasn't, but it really did feel like there was a clock ticking throughout the entirety of this episode. And the gong sound of the bell ringing over and over and over again always seemed to happen at like the most inopportune moments. And you're just like, I'm stressed. This is anxiety inducing, and I'm just a viewer. Imagine how the queen feels. Imagine how whoever it is that is sitting on the Iron Throne, who is sitting in that place of power. Imagine how the stress and the anxiety and the constant like feeling of something is just squeezing on your throat that you're having to experience all day long, every single day, while you have random people in your throne room petitioning for more sheep or something, just more sheep. There was a person who was using wool. They're running out of sheep. Like, you're just being asked for the most ridiculous things. Meanwhile, Aegon hung all the rat catchers. So now you have rats just running around buck wild in the Red Keep. Even so much so that there is a rat sitting on the throne, which feels symbolic of something, but I can't tell you what that something is, because I have had one hell of a week, friends. I can't even begin to describe the week that I have had. But that score was a very memorable piece of episode 3 of season 3 of House of the Dragon. I think potentially one of my favorite moments. I have a couple favorite moments from this episode, and they're all they're not throwaway things, but they're things that I don't think are like part of the main story of what we're getting into this season. The first one was when Rhaenyra knights Ulf, Hugh, and Adam. Ulf is just off in the background, just doing something ridiculous. And when she comes in and it's time for them to bend the knee and do the knighting ceremony or whatever, he's like having to run up and like all this kind of stuff. And she's asking him about how he'll style himself. He's like, I don't know. And so he is the comedic relief, and it's hilarious. And I'm just always like, I slap my forehead. I feel like every single time that man is on screen, and he does such a good job playing that character. And that character is specifically designed for us to feel like, oh my God, what an idiot. This guy is riding a freaking dragon. Are you kidding me? And then the other thing that I really loved was about my dear, sweet, beloved socialist queen. A queen for the small folk. A queen who is going to make sure that the rich among them is experiencing what it means to be a working class person, when they have consistently hoarded the wealth from the working class and made the working class starve and fight and thieve for every scrap they can possibly get. Did not think that I was going to be getting something like that from this episode of House of the Dragon, but little did I know that Karl Marx also helped George R.R. Martin write the show. Just kidding. That's not gospel truth. So don't run with that. I thought that was great. And I was reminded specifically of the way that Daenerys Targaryen started her journey to the throne as being the queen for the small folk, the queen for the poor people, the queen for the working man. Breaker of chains. She freed those that were in slavery. She consistently vouched for the poor and the hungry and the innocent. Like, that was something that Daenerys started her journey through. And there's almost this sense of Rhaenyra is doing the exact same thing. Could she potentially be going down the same road and ending in a sort of madness like Dany did, like Khaleesi did at the very end of Game of Thrones? I don't know that that's going to be the case. Granted, obviously, if you have read the source material, again, do not spoil it in the comment section for all of the rest of us. But there's just something about it too. With when you take that into account and you couple it with the way that her eyes are looking because she's not sleeping, she's consistently seeing people who actually are not there. And the way that the score is making you feel, the way that it's intending for you to feel every moment that another bell tolls, it could very much well be going in that direction. Who knows? The people who read the source material, that's who knows. But altogether, I thought this was, how do you follow up that episode from last week? You really can't. It was spectacular. It was one of the best episodes of television that I have ever watched. So how do you follow that up? Well, you follow it up with an episode that is going to make the viewer feel the stresses of ruling a kingdom or a queendom, so to speak. And I thought they did a really good job. I thought that this was a good, not great episode, but it did a good job moving the story along. Got a chance to see potentially what it could look like for Rhaenyra to sit the Iron Throne and what to do. Granted, she is losing favor with all of the people in her court, left and right. Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen with Corlys. He's obviously pissed because she didn't legitimize his sons. And he made it known to everyone in that area within earshot that her sons are all bastards as well, except for the 2 youngest boys. But those are with her uncle husband. That's a different conversation. So I will be intrigued to see what happens there, because obviously, was it his brother or his cousin or whoever it was in like season 1? Daemon like sliced his head in half and said he could keep his tongue. One of the coolest moments of the entire television show. But when he was doing that, Corlys was defending her. Corlys was keeping that to himself. He was keeping his mouth shut, so to speak, on the legitimacy of Jacaerys and Lucerys. What happens with him now? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how Rhaenyra handles that. And once Daemon hears about this, which I know he will, he's going to tell her to do the exact same thing that he's telling her to do to everyone who seems to pose a threat to her throne, and that is to kill him. Like the moment that they're speaking to each other in High Valyrian about not wanting to look to the horizon because they need to get their affairs in order at home first. And then he walks away and he's like, you still have to kill Darren. Like that was a moment that was just like, obviously that's how Daemon would handle everything. Like if Daemon was king, he would literally have just probably publicly executed the entirety of the other half of their house, all of his brother's children, his brother's wife, all of like that's exactly what he would have done. And obviously Rhaenyra does not want to do that. She wants to be, she said it, she wants to be a queen who rules with strength, but also with mercy. So I don't think that she's going to be so quick on the trigger. She's not going to be so quick on the draw. I am still interested to see what becomes of Corlys in his future. As for Alicent's cousin, Lord Ormund Hightower, as for him and his army and what he's doing with the real Darren and Targaryen, which I'm pretty sure is Darren's dragon's name, which they haven't given us a clear view of this dragon yet, which is kind of pissing me off because like, this is why I'm here. I'm here for the dragons. As for what they are doing and what she's going to have to do and what the next several episodes are going to have to wrap up, essentially, I don't know. I'm very excited to kind of see what happens because he is a different side of the Hightowers. He is a Hightower who has political instinct, but also is a very strong commander of an army. Otto Hightower has great political instincts. Alicent Hightower Targaryen had great political instincts. Aegon was a drunk teenager. Aemond doesn't necessarily have the best political instincts, has some, but obviously rides a massive dragon. Ormund Hightower, political instincts and the command of an army with a Targaryen who sits on top of a dragon, could pose an actual problem for Rhaenyra and what she is trying to accomplish. So that's going to be a really exciting thing to see over the next couple of weeks here as we get into the later parts of July into August. I think the last episode for season 3 is going to air the second Sunday of August. So buckle up. It's starting to get down to it. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Also, no confirmation on whether or not Aemond is alive. Are we going to get an answer there? I don't know. Probably. I think he is alive still, obviously. They mentioned something and said that Vhagar hadn't been seen in days, but we don't know what that means. The people who have read the books obviously know what that means. I haven't read the books. I can't read. Don't tell me. So yeah, buckle up. It's going to be a crazy couple of weeks coming up. And like I said at the very beginning, if you haven't done so yet, click that subscribe button. We are ever so close to 700 subscribers here on this channel. Click that like button as we wrap up this video. I'm going to go eat some Doritos and watch the Mexico-England game. And I hope you all have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your dinner.